Hang in
Dude,
there. It
that
is. Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
Welcome back to another episode of The Smylie Show. I am Charlie Hulme. He is Smylie Kaufman, and we have we had a guest earlier in the week. Usually when you're listening to this show midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, we're bringing a conversation Smylie's had with someone in golf to you. We're excited to bring you more of that next week. We talked to James Colgan on Monday, getting you updated on the latest on the PGA Tour media and business side, breaking down Brian Rolap, the incoming CEO of the PGA Tour. But today, Smylie and I have some items to catch up on. We did a brief recap of the Travelers, of Tommy Fleetwood, Keegan Bradley's showdown, and we want to unpack that a little bit more. We obviously have some Ryder Cup implications there. We have Smylie fresh off playing Bethpage Black at a Ralph Lauren event, giving us some insights on the course, who some course fits could be. And then we just have a big ball of Collin Morikawa topics to get into. A whole bunch of them on a number of different fronts. And Smylie, it feels like if you're okay with it, that is the most topical place to begin. Shall we just dive into Collin Morikawa topics one by one?
It sure is. When you are listening to this episode, it will be the Thursday round of the Rocket Classic, in which Collin Morikawa is the favorite. And it's been an interesting day for Collin Morikawa. Like, my Twitter was pretty much just him today. Taylor Swift at a bar in Nashville. That was kind of my Twitter thing today.
That's a heck of a For You page or Explore page, whatever it is on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
They've got you dialed.
Fran and I were jealous we were
Taylor.
not invited to the tight end event that George Kittle and Travis Kelce are involved with, but we are very hopeful that the Tahoe event that the Kelce brothers are playing in, that Taylor Swift makes an appearance and that she sings karaoke. That is our dream.
Does Fran want to sing karaoke alongside Taylor? What is Fran's favorite Taylor Swift song? You kind of have to know this.
She doesn't sing a ton. Mr. Brightside.
Your favorite album?
Mr. Brightside.
Mr. Brightside?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Killer song.
That's maybe, yeah.
Did Taylor cover the Killer song? Man, I'm exposing myself over here.
She sang Shake It Off.
A song called Mr. Brightside? What are we talking about here?
That's Francie's karaoke song. That's what you just asked me.
Oh, I was asking what her favorite Taylor Swift song was.
Oh,
yes, because I thought we're off to a great start here. We promised you Collin Morikawa sound. Now we're talking.
I think it's the Killers. Yeah,
Killers. It is definitely the Killers. Killers are, by the way, criminally underrated. Great library of music.
I don't know. I'll text her. I'll report back here.
That's perfect. We'll add that into the show. Here is, I think, the best place to start on Collin Morikawa, because we got to kind of set up today's story. He had some sound. Collin Morikawa has split from his caddy, Joe Griner. I believe they worked together 5 weeks. This is post his split with his longtime caddy, JJ Jacobak. There was a little bit of, what do you call it? A little carousel, a caddy carousel of sorts, where JJ left Collin's bag, ended up on Michael Thorbjornsen's bag. Michael Thorbjornsen's caddy, Lance Bennett, who also carried for Tiger at one point, ended up on Max Homa's bag. And Joe Griner, who was, of course, Max Homa's longtime caddy, was on Collin's bag for 5 weeks. They split. Apparently this was a story that was broken by Adam Schupak of Golf Week prior to Collin Morikawa's round, his Pro-Am round on Wednesday at the Rocket Classic. There was a line in the story, as Adam wrote it, that said, "It's unclear who Morikawa will have take over permanently going forward. Quote, ask me anything you want in my press conference later. I'm with my Pro-Am partners now." So then Collin finishes his Pro-Am round. He's sitting down for media availability. Adam Schupak asks him a question, and we're going to play for you an exchange, and it is subtitled by our good friends at golf.com, of where we have many friends who've been on the show a number of times. So let's take a listen and a watch of this sound of an exchange between Collin Morikawa and Adam Schupak of Golf Week.
You know who's going to caddy for you at the British Open?
I don't, and I read your article that you wrote. Look, I'm not here to tell people how to do their jobs, but I don't get why you would make me sound bad because you put out my quote that I was playing with Pro-Am partners out front. Those guys are paying a lot of money. They're very important to the community. They're very important to the Rocket Classic. And for you to put out a quote like that, to put me down and saying, hey, wait 2.5 hours. I mean, you called me up on the first tee, you know? So I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. You can write whatever you want. This is America. But don't put me down like that, because it's 2.5 hours, Adam.
I thought I was actually giving you credit that you were focused on your pro-am partners.
Okay, we can all read it very differently. That's not how I read it. I don't know how, but I'm just telling you, like, I think there's a perspective where people can read it like that. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We knew I was going to have media in 2.5 hours. I'm on the first tee meeting my pro-am partners as they're teeing off. So on the caddy front, I don't. It's a process that I'm going through. Hopefully we'll find out when the time comes, and I will let everyone know. Thank you.
All right, Smylie, let's start with I read you the excerpt. You've seen the excerpt. Did you read it? Did you interpret it closer to Collin or Adam?
Well, I went and tried to read the article, but I was looking in the article and I couldn't find this quote, but it was edited. So yes, I eventually did see the initial quote. Which, do you have that initial quote, or do you want me to go ahead and read it?
Yeah, well, I just read it.
You just read it.
If you were listening to the show that we both record together, this podcast we do call the Smylie Show, where I can read it again if you'd like me to.
Please do. Gosh, turn my brain on while you're at it.
I'll start from the top of the story and read up into the end of that quote that Adam used in the story. But it says, the Collin Morikawa Joe Greiner experiment is over. Morikawa, who is scheduled to compete this week at the Rocket Classic, confirmed as much before teeing off in Wednesday's Pro-Am. He has a friend on the bag filling in this week. It's unclear who Morikawa will have take over permanently going forward. Quote, ask me anything you want in my press conference later. I'm with my Pro-Am partners now.
All right, so I'll start from Collin's standpoint. He's absolutely right. That's a time in which is supposed to be spent getting ready for the golf tournament, spending time with the Pro-Am partners. And we don't mind. Like when I was playing, I didn't mind whether a reporter or somebody with the network that was covering it that week, a journalist, if they came up and just wanted to talk, that's fine. But especially after a firing like that, that's kind of still in this gray area. Of course, it's been confirmed that Joe Greiner's not working that week, but there's a time and a place to ask, and it's definitely not on the first tee of the Pro-Am. That's when you got to catch him on the parking lot, either heading into the golf course, or just the timing of that is really poor. I would say from a player standpoint, I would be totally fine if he asked me getting into the clubhouse, leaving the range, anytime I'm not working. And it would probably be hey, thanks for asking. Let's talk about it at the media or the press center when I'm going to have my media obligation. So I thought Collin, the way he handled it, which he's been a topic of a lot of media scrutiny as far as just his lack of wanting to do a whole lot from a media perspective after whether it's close losses or just times he doesn't want to speak with the media. And it's been criticized, rightfully or wrongfully. I don't have much of an opinion. He can do whatever he wants after a round until the PGA Tour tells him he has to. So I could care less. I know he's been scrutinized for that. So I think that aspect of Collin and his willingness to do media or not do media is being tied in too much to this little snippet of this conversation where I think some people think he comes across as snippy and however you want to describe it. I personally like the directness of how he handled it. It wasn't necessarily too rude. It seemed pretty fair because if I would have read the same thing, I would have been probably pretty fired up too. I don't know when he read it. So if he was with his Pro-Am partners, it sounds like he was reading news articles while he was out there, which I don't know.
doing the math on that going back.
Yeah, I would probably say that I would very much side with Collin on this.
as we know, it's just we enter every year and it's, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other, stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, how do we account for that in our handicapping? Two good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitchers? Because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
It was the first time, I think, in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter and this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
I can't even believe I'm saying pitcher's battle and using the words Patrick Corbin. But can I tell you, Scotty, he's a different guy. He's a totally different guy with the Rangers than we've seen.
I say this all the time. Don't worry about the first 5 innings. Don't even watch the first 5 innings in Texas Ranger games. Because for whatever reason, there's a ton of runs scored in the first 5, and then it just stops. It just stops.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
But I also say this when it comes to working for Collin Morikawa, I think that's probably one of the most challenging bags to work for because of the way he plays the game. I think it's very difficult to club him because he hits shots that nobody else hits. When I can describe to you that he can be 180 yards and can just say, you know what, I think I'm just going to hit I'm just going to take a lot off this 5-iron. I'm just going to kind of chip fade one. And shoot, he could have been working for Max, and that could have been, let's hit 7-iron here. I think it's very tough. I think he's probably the most difficult player to caddy for, and I say that because he's really, really, really good, and he's really, really accurate. He's very, very good at hitting his numbers, but I think it's challenging to caddy for somebody that sees spin so much differently than most other tour players.
And I think that's so interesting because who he has on this bag this week, and I'm going to completely butcher this guy's last name, but it's a former Cal teammate, KK Limbhasut. You can go look it up. It's in that same story that Adam Schupak wrote, Limbhasut. But a guy that if he's played some level of golf with Collin for an extended period of time, maybe has more familiarity with all the shots that Collin has in his bag and can play. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's going to be the long-term solution on Collin's bag, but let's delve into that a little bit further because I think that's interesting. You and I kind of talked in the lead up to the show about where Collin is mentally. You see kind of the frustration with the media that's been building over the past few months, the caddy changes he's making now twice in the season, and just feeling like really dating back to the end of last season where if there are no starting strokes at the Tour Championship, as there will be this year in Atlanta, he walks away with the trophy. And so that sort of press for at what point is my good play going to get rewarded with the win? How do you think it's a two-parter? Maybe we start with the first part, which is how do you find a caddy when you're in that mental state that can both cope with where you are in a state of really feeling like you're due to win or you're owed to win, but you also have this very unique set of shots and game that you can't just pick up in a 5-week span as Joe Griner has attempted to do?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of trial and error with caddies to kind of figure out who's going to be the person that meshes the best with his, verbal cues on, it really isn't a very long time you have to say the right information and make sure that you don't screw up the player's mind in the shot that he sees. And sometimes that a caddy that comes in, they're going to ask more questions when a player maybe doesn't want to have more information to talk about. It's like, hey, I see this. And sometimes the caddy doesn't know what to say because it's such a different way to play the game that you really need somebody that really understands his game, which, hey, maybe this guy that's caddying for him this week could be somebody that ends up caddying for him long term. I mean, Collin needs somebody that can just help him kind of get through this little rough patch. And this is a perfect person to have, somebody that he's close with, knows his game. I think finding a high level PGA Tour caddy, and it's going to take a minute because like Joe, you would think would be the perfect type of guy, like he's a friendly guy.
And he seems so engaged with Max throughout all those processes. Are there names of caddies that are recognizable to the public that where you could reference, say, this is the type of guy who either thinks through it at a highly analytical level, or that you could reference where it's like, this is the type of guy that Collin needs, whether or not he already has a bag?
Well, he needs a no BS guy. Collin's not somebody that sure, he'll have a laugh out there, but for the most part, it's business as usual with Collin. And for the most part, JJ always kind of represented that same type of state of mind when I would be around him too. It would be interesting to see. Well, maybe he ends up back with JJ long, a couple months from now. Who knows? Maybe Thor and JJ win this week, and maybe that's going to be a new partnership for the next decade. Who knows? But it's hard to ever really kind of know how players and caddies get set up. A lot of times the agents have a lot to do with it, just based off of who they've worked with in the past. But Collin's been around enough to where he's seen enough caddies probably work with certain players. Heck, maybe the guy that he wants is on somebody else's bag. You just don't know. When Collin Morikawa texts and offer you a job when you're already on a bag, it's definitely one you'd probably consider.
Yeah. I mean, I think going back to the quote things, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to call Morikawa soft this week. They're going to call him petty, vindictive. They're going to question why he's going after a reporter. Once again, I find myself kind of agreeing with Collin Morikawa, in the same sort of vein as what happened after Bay Hill. And I'd even stretch this and connect it to what happened with Rory with the failed driver test at Quail Hollow. It's probably not a great take if I have to go walk into a media tent with all these people, but I just think there's some sort of level that's been reached in terms of just, and I'm not saying every member of the media, I'm not even saying Adam Schupak necessarily, but the story is what these guys are putting out in front of you on a week-to-week basis. And, putting a scoop or, being first to getting something out or painting a quote in a certain light because you don't like the way a guy's approach media. I just don't find that to be the right way to go about these things. If the goal is like building a relationship with a player where you could actually get valuable insights and thoughts on the game that are going to be informative to your audience. And maybe that's, just more the nature of the show we do. That's less like breaking news and more of a immersive look at the game of golf. But that to me is what strikes me about all these sort of interactions is like the whole Rory thing where like a piece of information gets out where it should not have gotten out. And there's just it seems like the impetus behind that is let's get a scoop rather than how does this fit within the larger ecosystem of the game that I'm trying to cover? And if I'm going to put this out, can I attach it to an explanation of what a failed driver test actually means on tour and why it's, maybe the difference of a yard, or even less than a yard. And I don't know. I mean, these are just kind of big picture ruminations, but I just feel like I really do understand where a lot of these players come in terms of their frustration with the way they're covered sometimes. I get it.
Well, I coming from just my experience, I always never knew if like a journalist or a reporter asked me a question, whether it was on or off the record, whether they were going to write a story on it and whether I wanted something to be written about it. Not to say I was, supremely covered when I was on the PGA Tour, but when there were times questions were asked, I would be like, I don't really know if I want that written.
What do you make of this price tag here, reportedly, of $1.7 billion for a club that right now technically doesn't even have a home ballpark?
We don't see a lot of teams sold in Major League Baseball. I mean, if you go back to 2020, Steve Cohen bought the New York Mets for $2.4 billion. The only team sold since then was the Orioles last year, also for around $1.7 billion.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go with Cam Young at 30-1. I think it's a really nice course for him at the Rocket Mortgage in Detroit, Michigan for him. Wyndham Clark at 36-1. And I also like Alex Noren at 60-1.
My Morency drunken Brit dart toss golf pick, which does win like 2-3 times a year, guys. Some insanely enough. But I'm going to say Matt Fitzpatrick.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
I do believe that SJ now is the #1 player in the world. The things that he can do from the point of attack, offensively and defensively, his ability to drive downhill and score in all 3 levels. And the thing about I like most about this young man at 26, he's so humble. He's so humble. And that speaks to the whole culture of OKC that Sam Presti and Mark Daigneault has built. Humble team, folks.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
I just had a vision come to me of Ben Griffin hoisting the Tour Championship trophy. I just feel like he's going to win the FedEx Cup.
He'll be there.
Okay, so we are going to now talk about Team Europe, and we're going to do it very, very tastefully here. This is a nice, very topical segue with the help of our friends from Shipsticks. Shipsticks get you from your front door to 4 easier than ever. They'll pick up your golf clubs from your home or office and deliver them on time, guaranteed to your golf destination anywhere in and outside the United States. Like if you're going over to where Team Europe plays, if you're going over to play some golf and watch the Open Championship in the coming weeks, Shipsticks is the way to get those clubs over there, especially because some of the horror stories I've heard about the airports there, just bags and bags just lost there till the end of time, unless you have an air tag on it. So no more airport headaches, no more lugging heavy bags, just easy, stress-free travel for golfers like you. The supporting benefits include white glove service, complimentary insurance, real-time tracking, door-to-door service, international shipping, and it's for any occasion. Shipsticks is perfect for buddies trips, business trips, even family vacations where managing kids, strollers, and extra luggage can ruin your vacation before it's even begun. Enjoy 20% off your next shipment by using the promo code Smylie. Smylie, let's do the European team. Who are the locks? They're going no matter what guys on this team?
It goes 8 deep. It does.
You have 8 locks on this team.
8 locks.
Okay, who are your locks?
They're going to be on the team.
Okay.
It's John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Tyrrell Hatton, Sepp Straka, Ludwig Oberg, Victor Hovland, Tommy Fleetwood, and Shane Lowry. Those 8 guys are going to be on the team.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's interesting because the one of that list that you did not list that is higher than both Shane Lowry and Victor Hovland in terms of probability of making the team is Robert McIntyre.
Yeah, and he would be 9.
He would be 9.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Bobby Mack has done enough, especially seeing the way he played at the U.S. Open at a challenging Northeast course. That guy to me would be, I guess, given the way Shane played early in the year, I think I would extend that. I agree with you entirely on 8 of those guys being locks, and I really would extend it to 9 locks and include Bobby Mack in that. And then
Justin Rose will be on the team.
I mean, so Justin Rose's probability, he is considerably down the list in terms of probability to make this team. He has a 4.5% chance to make the team, which is below Sergio Garcia. Yeah, it's insane.
What?
If you go look at this at probability of making the team, I'll just start ripping off names here: Aaron Rai, Harry Hall, Matt Fitzpatrick, Thomas Dietrich, Niergaard Peterson, Rasmus Højgaard, David Puig.
Wonder why that is.
Maybe they just feel like he just the golf he's played this year is not.
He almost won the Masters. Lost a playoff.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold the phone.
Well, I mean, he missed the cut at the U.S. Open, missed the cut at the RBC Canadian Open, missed the cut at the PGA, was second at the Masters. But I mean, really, this year, it's tough. It is a little bit harsh on him because he finished T8 at the API.
He's got 2 runners up at majors over the last couple of years. I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, we'll keep going here. I just think his experience is valuable.
So you have Rosie as your 10th. Who are your last 2?
Honestly, no idea. I can try my best here to give you a name.
I just take both the Højgaard brothers and be done with it.
I mean,
why not?
They're up there.
David Puig?
They're up there on the points list. Gosh. I
think you're looking at.
You could pick a name out of a hat. I really do not know.
I think so. Your pool. I think realistically. So let's just pull Rose off the lock list. So we want 3 guys. I think it's 3 guys from a list that includes Rose, both the Højgaard brothers, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Aaron Rai, and then also Thomas Dietrich, who won earlier this year in Phoenix. I think he's got a shot to make that team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll be interesting, and I wonder how many sessions the
what
guys.
What about Niergaard Peterson? Is he he's up there on this thing?
I believe he's a bomber. He was kind of in and around it. He was in and around it at Oakmont for a brief period of time.
Let's check out his profile, how he's played. Oh wow,
yeah, he's got some solid finishes.
All right, he's kind of a sleeper.
Yeah,
definitely a sleeper to make the team.
I don't see
they're
that
gonna,
to be
they're
the
gonna
type
ride.
of guy they take. Yeah,
man, they're gonna ride their horses. They're strong, dude.
Do you think Sergio makes the team?
But I will say, when I look at, like Scotty, Bryson are obviously the 2 best American players, and then you go Rob, Rory, and they kind of just, let's say they just offset each other, and then you kind of go to the next list, and I see that Americans are favorites, but man, I just love this European team. They just have so many solid players.
We all know a night out at the club in Vegas can get a little bit pricey, but I've got a tip that can save you a cover fee at some of the hottest nightclubs. All you have to do is sign up online for free with a credible guest list service. Then just show up before 10:30 and check right in. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
No way that I'm betting on the Cleveland Cavaliers for any reason whatsoever.
No.
Ever. Like, when they had LeBron James, it was a different story. I think Spider's great. He's no LeBron. I don't see him carrying them to a title. And I don't believe in the Knicks at all. The Knicks never get it done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Kevin Durant, at the age of 36 years old, after 17 seasons that he has played in the NBA DRS, is now on his way to H-Town.
I don't think it's a great move. I wanted him to go to a ready-made championship team full of a veteran roster and see if he can ring chase that way. Not to go to an organization on the come-up that if you just stay the course, and also, what better blueprint do we have than just staying the course than okay, safe, right?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Couple
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play. every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.